What's going on, guys? I'm back with a brand new series review. That's right, I haven't done a series review in quite the while, maybe a year, okay? And I just watched a series called Hawkeye, starring Jerry Renner, Haley Steinfeld, and Vera Farmiga. First of all, I want to discuss the hype that is Disney Plus. All right, I recently, or maybe about 2 months back, got a hold of the Disney Plus app. All right, and because I got so late into the game of this, I missed out on shows like WandaVision, the whole illusional type show that made everybody wonder, why are we in the 1920s with this? What are we doing? Everybody wondered that too. I got it, but a lot of people did not feel that. Then there was Falcon and Winter Soldier, which honestly I was in no rush to see it. I'm not really a big fan of these characters, but at the same time I feel like I must watch this because it's connected with the MCU timeline. Then there is Loki. Now, of course, I want to see this. One of my favorite villains, without argument. Despite the whole agenda pushing thing I heard about, I'm sure it didn't mess it up too bad. Okay, I'm still willing to see it and check it out, give it a chance because of things I've heard. All right. Then there is What If? Another show that I think I don't have to really rush to go see. But at the same time, I still want to see what's going on and how it's connected with everything, because I always enjoyed the What If comic books back in the day. All right, and so now we have Hawkeye. All right, now I actually made it in time to watch this one, and so my question is, if I go back and I watch these other ones, will it be just as good? Will it be worse? Or will it be better than the shows that I go back and watch? We're about to find out. Let's go. Hawkeye, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware. Okay, I'll give it to you on this one. If you're not aware, that's probably because you're not, you're not an avid MCU Marvel head. Okay, so you probably don't give a rat's patoot, a rat's ass about Hawkeye. And even people who are Marvel heads don't really care about the poor guy, but I'm giving him a chance. So here we go. All right, Hawkeye. It's pretty much focused on Hawkeye's family life at first, and how he's a good father, of course. He's a good dad. He's a good husband to his wife and the family of who we just found out about in the Infinity Wars and whatnot. Okay, he's a good dude. He's a good dude, man. And so he's taking care of his family and everything, and doing this and that. And little does he know, unknown to him, he has this girl who, some years back, I'd say 2012, when the whole alien attack happened in Avengers, he unknowingly saved her. All right, from losing her life. And from that day, she vowed to herself that she would become a hero and an archer just like him. Better, if even, maybe. She tried to strive for better. And so now we fast forward, and she has gotten caught up in some situation where she confiscated the Ronin uniform. Yes. And so with that, it's going to come a lot of drama. And of course, they had to tie my boy Hawkeye into this, and now he has to come clean up her mess. And with that, they form this little bond, between Hawkeye and his admirer. Let's put it like that. Okay. And of course, they bump into some new villains along the way, more than a few. All right, and they have to work together to beat the odds. And that is the premise of Hawkeye season 1. Positives. For anybody who is just a big fan of all of the arsenal of arrows in Hawkeye's quill, you're going to love the action scenes in this one, because man, if you thought you've seen everything with Hawkeye's arrows, you haven't seen the gist of it. Okay, this man has arrows in here that create just like little paint splashes on windows so people can't see, and he has an arrow that can do a fusion with another arrow, like some Dragon Ball stuff, and it makes this big giant metal arrow that just crushes everything in its path. Okay, he has that. He has unbelievable stuff that really is not possible in real life, you know that, but he has it. He has that. Okay, and I liked and I enjoyed just wondering what was going to be the next trick arrow that he's going to have. What would be the next one he's going to have pop out of nowhere? What was it going to do? That's impossible in real life. All right, you know, I enjoyed that part. Another positive about this, the relationship or the bond between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. All right. Because let me put it like this. Kate Bishop's character is highly annoying and unbearable. And it's something that we'll get to in a minute on the negatives. But she just loves to run her mouth. She's a little too on it, so to speak. And Hawkeye's reaction to all of this is just something that it's how I would react. That's how a lot of people react to her. And her talking, her constant flapping of the lips. So, you know, let's just put it like this. Hawkeye has to wear a hearing aid because of, you know, the recent things he's done throughout the past in the movies. He's an action hero, right? And so when he loses that hearing aid in the show, he can no longer hear. And that's a blessed curse within itself, because he doesn't realize it, but he now has a relief from her constant yappering and yammering and talking. All right, to the point where when he does get his hearing aid back, he just plays around and takes it out when he doesn't want to hear her yappering. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. I enjoyed that part. I really did, because I understood him and I felt him. It's something I would do. Okay. Another thing I enjoyed about this, the unraveling of the plot. For some parts, this plot is a little on the cheese side, yes. But when it came down to it, and it got down to the end of the series, or the season, there were some things that were revealed about a specific or two specific characters that made you be like, I get it now, because I saw something shady happening from the beginning with this. Okay, and now it's just confirmed that yes, somebody they're a piece of crap. Somebody's a piece of crap that you would not guess would be a piece of crap. They usually don't do it this way with superheroes, but let's just say, man, what's family for? Okay, on whatever side I'm talking about, it could be any side that I'm talking about with this. Don't get any ideas. All right, don't get any ideas. Last positive for this: the cameos. The cameos in the show. And before I go any further, I'm just going to mention a few. So one of them will be left out, okay? But if you think me mentioning a few is going to be a spoiler for you, you can go ahead and fast forward to the negatives right now. I advise you to do it. I advise you to do that. All right? Since you think it's going to be a spoiler. I'm not really going to spoil anything, but go ahead and do that right now. All right? All right, you did that? People still here with me? Let's go. First of all, there is a character in this show that it was clear to me, or it had to be, that this person was indeed the Swordsman. Okay, the Swordsman is an old Marvel character from back in the day. He's a street level character, but he's a marksman He's a surgeon with that sword, of course. I'm not gonna say who it was or it's supposed to be. You just have to watch. It's going to be clear. Okay, another character that I enjoyed, a cameo, was from a good old Yelena, little sister. All right, to Black Widow. Okay, Yelena's back. I enjoyed her in Black Widow. She was one of my favorite characters. Just something I love about her and her honesty and her willing to be honest and funny at the same time. She's more entertaining than Black Widow. All right, and she's back in this one, and she doesn't disappoint. She does not disappoint. She's still the same old Yelena. All right, and her short time in this, it just works. It just works. There's no need to explain further. Okay, she's Yelena, little sister. Another character. This is one that I won't mention. I won't say by name, but let's just say the bringing of this character to this show. It had me excited because this character alone, and any other past projects that it's been involved with, they did a knockout job for whatever part they played. They did a knockout job. Okay. And I was excited to see this come back to the Marvel world. All right. And with seeing this character come back, it's showing me that a lot is going to change up. A lot of other things are going to be brought in that needed to be brought in eventually by seeing this character. And I was very excited to see this one. Okay. When you watch the show, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Negatives. Remember the good old Kate Bishop? All right, the underdog to Hawkeye, the student to the teacher. Like I said, her character was the most irritating character in the damn show. All right. Not only did she just not know when to stop running her mouth, she also was extremely hard-headed, and she did things and made choices that could have been easily avoided. This is starting to be a thing especially with superhero movies and just action movies and period, or shows. There always has to be a character in there that is annoying and hard-headed and does stupid stuff to the point where another character or multiple characters have to come in and clean up the mess every time. And this is the whole thing between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. Okay, and it got very annoying. It got very irritating and annoying, and I at points in times I wanted to fast forward the show from her parts, but I knew if I did that, I was going to miss something highly important with the show, and it would not be a plus for me. Okay. Another negative that I want to mention. I really miss the Netflix feel. Remember when Netflix was running Marvel for their shows? Okay, for some reason that just stopped. I need Disney to form a relationship with Netflix soon. Okay? Because the rawness, the realness that Netflix brought to Marvel was you can't compare it to anything else. Yeah, all right. But with Disney is just so Disney that at times it's too much. It's too cheesy. All right. And I think that only with the shows, not the movies, this should be something that you think about. Think about it. Daredevil and Punisher. All right, were very, very great examples of that. They showed you what Netflix and Marvel could do when they work together. When you put them in a show like that, those shows. All right, I think they should keep doing that with the shows they're putting out now. All right, it would make it far more interesting. There are some characters who held back so much because this is Disney. Two characters in particular that held back from who they really are and how violent and how much action it could have been in this because of Disney. All right, think about that. My last negative, like I just finished saying, this had so many corny points to it. Let's just take an example: the red tracksuit gang. What kind of stupid, completely stupid, irritating and stupid. All right, I scratched my head so many times on that. You could have gotten so much better with the henchmen, at least, than these people, these guys. I know you're trying to be funny and whatnot, but no, you could have made them at least more intimidating than that. And there are other cheesy moments in here that just scream Disney. All right, and it was highly irritating. But with that said, I'm giving this an I cool. Yes, an I cool. And that's simply because it needs that Netflix feel. Disney Plus it's nothing like how Netflix did Marvel. I'm sorry. And I want them to come back to just merge. Do a merge, please. I ask you. Like this video, share it, and if you haven't subscribed, you better do it soon.